What's going on, everybody? Hey, I want to tell you how I think this week Donald Trump just sealed up the midterms. I don't know if you all been paying attention, but this week was wild, going from Venezuela to the multiple executive orders Trump signed to MAHA wins. It's roaring to nonstop good economic news. I mean, get ready. So many people have been freaking out about what's going to happen with the midterms. Democrats are getting excited. Republicans, MAGA, freaking out, thinking like maybe this is going to fall apart on us because the Senate's not doing anything. The Congress isn't doing anything. They're a joke. Then they are. That hasn't changed. But Trump is a genius as usual, a brilliant as usual with his policy. And I think this week he pretty much built the momentum. It's going to carry him forward to a sweeping midterms victory. And then on top of that, you add that the Voting Rights Act is probably going to be struck down. Registrations across the country still trending red. Don't believe the noise. Don't believe the blackpilling. Anything's possible, but I think this week Trump cleared it up. And with the way the economy is already trending, it's getting here ahead of schedule. The 2026 boom. And if it keeps booming the way it is, it's going to be a solid win for Team Red. Look at what I'm talking about. Let's start with just what Trump announced last night. This is huge. Trump tweeted last night, "Please be informed we will no longer let the American public be ripped off by credit card companies charging interest rates of 20 to 30% and even more, which festered unimpeded during the Sleepy Joe Biden administration. Affordability effective on January 20th, the 1-year anniversary of his reign, calling for a 1-year cap on credit card interest rates of 10%. Now, this is massive. This is a huge win for populism, for the MAGA base. Is exactly what we want to see him do. Obviously, this can't just happen. He can't just dictate it down to 10%. The Senate's got to do something. There'll be other levers here, but that's not even the point. The point is that he's going for it. He's announcing it. He's putting pressure on credit card companies. This will result in lower rates one way or the other. It might not get down to 10, but we're going to start seeing some movement here. And on top of that, Trump is showing he's willing to go after the big corporations taking advantage of the American people. And that's really what the American people want to see. That's what MAGA wants to see. I mean, he took this right out of Bernie Sanders and AOC's playbook, and you know they got to be fuming right now. Now he's going to put Democrats on the side of defending credit card companies. Good luck with that. But that's not all that happened last week. Let's just go through the major moves Trump made this last week in domestic policy and why they're such a big deal. We got several. So Trump announced just 2 days ago that he's going to put up $200 billion with a B, $200 billion from Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, money that's been sitting there, and he's going to put it right back into buying mortgage bonds to lower the interest rate on mortgages. This is going to have an effect on the housing market for affordability. This is something he can do executively. And again, that's what's the people been waiting for. There's been two big things people have been getting frustrated with Trump about. Number one is the cost of living. That's just it. That's that simple. We're seeing gas prices go down. I'm starting to see where I live, some grocery prices go down. So we got energy prices down, but then the housing is a big deal. We got an entire generation of people that haven't been able to buy a home yet. Younger generation. The average home buyer now is over 40 years old. That's insane. If he's able to fix this is a great start. Because interest rates, that has a massive effect on your ability to buy a home because that impacts your monthly payments. And ultimately, monthly payments matter far more to people than the overall cost of the home. It's just what it is. They look at that. So on top of that, Trump just took another shot across the bow towards Wall Street. And we love it. We love to see it. Every time he goes after Wall Street, it's beautiful. And there's no American who's going to be mad about this that's, middle class or lower. And that's what you need to win these elections. He writes, for a very long time, buying and owning a home was considered the pinnacle of the American dream. It's for that reason, much more, I'm immediately taking steps to ban large institutional investors from buying more single-family homes and calling on Congress to codify it. People live in homes, not corporations. And then he's going to take that little announcement to Davos, which I love, a little shot, shot right at the globalists in their faces. Take that, World Economic Forum. This is brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant policy. Whether it moves the needle or not, all that matters is that it's an attack against the corporations. People feel taken advantage of, and they should. They should. We no longer live in a capitalism society. We live in a crony capitalism society. That's a society where the largest institutions, the largest corporations with the lobbyists and their ability to get Congress to pass laws that benefit them, get the executive branch to pass regulations that benefit them, means they've been constantly stealing from the middle class for decades. And not to mention all the stuff going on from the globalists as well, because they're all in on it together. But that's what's really happening. And so when people say capitalism has failed, they don't know what they're talking about, because we haven't had a capitalist system in a very long time, maybe as far back as 1913. But we can get back there. And this is one way you get back there, by actually holding them accountable for screwing over the American people. There's no reason why these hedge funds should be able to buy up single family homes, raise up rates for the home prices, and then force everybody to pay a higher rent. It's insanity. It's terrible. And you can tell it's terrible, and it's actually working, because as soon as Trump announced this, BlackRock stock tanked 9%. Beautiful. I don't think there's a single person crying a tear over that except Larry Fink. And that's what we want. This is what the people want to see from Trump. Him taking on the institutions. Trump got elected twice as the outsider willing to take on everybody else. Take on the corrupt politicians, take on the corporations, take on the people pillaging us, take on the foreigners who have been taking advantage of us, whether it's illegal immigrants or from afar, the EU, NATO, all these people taking our money so they can live better. China, you name it. That's why Trump was elected. And so every time he does one of these things, especially at home, when people can see and people can rah cheer about it, that's a massive win. And this one especially is going to have a lasting impact on the psyche of his people. But we're not done. MAHA this week passed one of the big ones. This one might not be as big as a policy direction and impact, but it's massive in the face that this has resonance with every single person. We all grew up with a food pyramid, right? Well, the MAHA moms who helped Trump come to victory. I mean, when Kennedy came onto the Trump train, it basically was a guaranteed win after that, because Kennedy brought his 7% of the American electorate with him. And many of those are women concerned about health for their kids, especially when it comes to nutrition and big pharma. And this is a major shot to both of them. We finally are going to have a food pyramid that makes sense. Brand new dietary guidelines, game-changing shift to prioritize protein, healthy fats, fruits and veggies, avoiding processed foods and refined carbs. Here's the new pyramid. It's upside down in the old one. Now we got the grains at the bottom, but it's whole grains, not just bread and cereal, which is what the old one had with that big bottom that used to be there. Eat lots of breads, kids. Just carb it up. There's nothing wrong with bread when it's good bread, when it's sourdough bread made at home. That's excellent. But when you're buying store-bought 99-cent a loaf white bread, that is absolutely destroying your metabolism and body. But that wasn't listed before in the old guidelines because they didn't care. They wanted you to get sick. You know who created those guidelines? Food companies that were bought by big tobacco in the 80s. Yeah, that's all you need to know about that. We have undone it. Trump is loosening the grip of big pharma, big food on all of our, on everything we touch, everything that impacts our health and our ability to get healthy food. This has massive repercussions down the line too. This means that schools now have to present this as the food pyramid. They have to teach kids this if they want to get federal funds. It's going to change school lunches to be healthier. And they are now requiring anywhere that uses SNAP benefits, that allows the use of SNAP benefits, including like the 7-Eleven down the street, to carry twice as much healthy food. So we're going to start seeing, you are what you eat. We're going to start seeing major health benefits down the road. And this has got MAHA all kinds of excited. And that still isn't the end of what they accomplished last week. Talking about giving a big middle finger to the people trying to control us from afar, from abroad. Well, we just did that as well. No more wasting taxpayers on globalist agendas. The United States will leave 66 total, 31 of them UN organizations that no longer serve the best interests of the country. And you see several of these are climate. Several of these are green. Several of these are like bank institutions, NGOs. We're just done. They don't get our money anymore. Europe has been funding itself. Several countries have been funding themselves off of our money. Just you taking the U.S. wealth as our people, especially the middle class and the lower classes, have just been losing more and more wealth. Upward mobility has become harder and harder. The 1% have kept getting richer. That's all happening because of this kind of stuff, where we just waste our money and send it overseas instead of investing here at home. It's just another excellent sign that we're heading in that direction. Now, other than affordability, the number 2 thing people want to see that they've been frustrated with Trump about is justice. We want to see the wheels of justice turn faster. Well, they're on that as well. J.D. Vance 2 days ago announced that the Trump administration is creating a new assistant attorney general position to take over. This one is going to report directly to the vice president and president, as J.D. described it. And they're going after fraud in the nation. This is all that Somalian money's coming out. We're finding out how much fraud there is in welfare. We found out in SNAP benefits how much fraud there is because of the government shutdown. It's steamrolling. We're finding out that we might have wasted, Elon Musk predicts maybe up to $1.5 trillion a year might be fraud and corruption. I don't know if we'll get to that high of numbers, but I definitely think we need to try. And we need to uncover every dollar. And the Trump administration is actually showing us they're going to go there. And they're making moves immediately to end it. Secretary Rollins came out and said the Trump administration uncovered massive fraud in Minnesota and Minneapolis, billions siphoned off by fraudsters. Today, the USDA suspended federal financial awards to Minnesota and Minneapolis. More of this, please. Cut off every city, every state unwilling to cooperate in fixing the fraud. This is what we want to see. Bully the governors, bully the mayors, be the federal government. They did it to us. They tried to bully us in all kinds of terrible ways, looking at churches, making it so churches couldn't speak politically, sending people protesting abortion clinics to prison, the J6 people, even though 99.9% of them were peaceful, 1,600 of them rotting in prison. They were insane. They came after us. They tried to undo the American way of life. And so now we're going to undo them. And this is what it's showing. Pull the money, pull the plug on all of it. And it's just a massive win. And it continues. Scott Bessent announced the IRS launching massive audits, financial institutions that facilitated the laundering of Minnesota frauds. Bessent's going after all of it. He's been talking about it for a while. They were defunding Antifa. They've been following all the money to all the sources. I think it's just a matter of time before we actually start seeing heads getting beat in over this. And by that, I mean going to prison. But they got to build their cases. That's going to take time, but we're seeing action. And that's all that matters to the people. And finally, this week we hit the number of 2.6 illegal immigrants gone. And that's the other big thing Trump was voted for. Bring them in. The border is sealed, the best it's ever been, and we are remigrating people out, sending them out to the tune of 2.6 million, and that's before we had all the ICE agents just go way up. We've gone from 10,000 to 22,000 agents. Now they're getting trained. They're about to hit the field. The funds are in effect because of one big beautiful bill. And now it's been 6 months since that bill was passed, and those guys are about ready to go out. Deportations are going to surge. That was all this week. And people are just blown away. The MAGA crowd is stoked as we've been in a while. It's been the best beginning to a year these last 9 days that we could have asked for. Everything we want to see is starting to happen one way or the other. And the thing that's ultimately going to matter the most to people is the economy, and the economic numbers are showing that Trump's economy, his policies are working. The tariff fears were nonsense. Everything else that they were scared about or trying to make us all afraid of, what Trump's doing, is nonsense. And the proof is in the pudding. And it's been 1 year of Trump so far, and already we're getting massive results. Let's look at where the economy is now and just imagine where it'll be by the end of the year, because these policies aren't changing. They're only going to gather momentum. We have numbers released today. This was 3 days ago. The United States lowest trade deficit since 2009, heading lower. GDP predicted to come in at over 5% for Q4. That's from the Atlanta Fed, which is the number one predictor. They predicted 5.3% growth GDP. That's crazy. That's the highest number. That's going to give us the year of 2025 at about 3.4% if that holds, which will be the highest year in GDP for our country since 2005. 20 years, folks. Trump in 1 year has given us the best single year in GDP in 20 years, and his policies have barely taken effect. But the tariffs are working. It's all working. And if this continues even a little bit, this increase, watch out. The midterms could be a landslide for Team Red. Look at this. Manufacturing sector, labor productivity up 3.3%. Durable manufacturing productivity up 4.7%. Non-durable manufacturing sector productivity up 1.2%. Total manufacturing productivity 2.3% increase. We have the auto sales came in for the year, best year in 6 years. 2019 was the last great year for the economy, and already we got auto sales up there. Now just imagine what's going to happen now that Trump's lowered these standards, and people are going to have more access to credit. People are going to get these big, massive tax cuts coming in. They're going to get the bigger refunds than usual. These sales will probably even spike more this year. Inflation down under 2% according to Truflation, which aggregates all those prices. It's actually more accurate than the government numbers, even though it's not official. Truflation has official inflation now under 2%. And all this is going to continue coming in because there's no printing on the horizon. The tariff money is giving Trump extra money in order to do a stimulus if he wants, move stuff over. He's talked about maybe increasing military budget, which we can talk about another time. But all this stuff, this money's coming in. It's not money being printed. And so if the inflation rate continues to go down and we keep getting this kind of productivity, we could see price decreases across the board while the people are doing better. Mortgage rates, even before that $200 billion Trump said he's going to buy towards mortgage bonds, already down under 6% for the first time in 4 years. Housing is going to get more affordable very quickly, especially with more and more illegals leaving. Now you don't have the institutions. They're going to think twice before buying up homes, even if Trump's EO can't officially stop them yet. If a judge strikes it down or it's blocked some other way, if it doesn't stop them yet, they're still going to think twice before getting in and getting on the bad side of the president. So you have that plus all the illegals leaving housing they're in. Housing prices are about to go down at the same time interest rates are going down. Americans should be able to afford housing again fairly quickly. Maybe in 6 months to a year, it'll get in that more affordable area, because also paychecks are going up. In 1 year under Trump, weekly paychecks adjusted for inflation are up 1.5%. Not a lot, but it's something, and it's in the right direction. This could mean if that 1.5% holds over 4 years, that means in 4 years you got a 5% raise just from policy, not from anything your company did. Under Biden, checks were down 2.5% in his first year. So that inability to pay for stuff, that's starting to go away. Americans are starting to make more money while things are leveling off. It's small, And because it's so small, people haven't felt it yet. But the fact we're already seeing these kind of results before the tax cuts have kicked in, before the deregulations have really kicked in, before the manufacturing money that the other countries have made and the trade deals has fully made its way over and been put to use, guys, we are set up for such a massive boom. I mean, I'm stoked. I feel like we're heading to maybe the best economic years of my lifetime. And I'm 42 years old. I'm 42 years old. Obviously, I wasn't working in the 90s, so I can't tell you how good it was then. But the last time I remember economy being really good for a couple years was about 2003 to 2005. And that's 20 plus years ago. And I think we're headed for a better time than even then, because what Trump's fixing is real fixes, not the fake Keynesian economics we were living in even back then. Look at this. Household net wealth increase in real and inflation adjusted terms under Trump. Term 1, 29% increase in household net wealth. Under Biden, for 4 years, only a 2% increase. In 1 year of Trump, 7%. So we're well on pace to hit this again in his second term. And honestly, the last year of this was COVID. So I think that hurt it. This year, this time, I think we could hit 30 to 35% by the end of his term. And honestly, with the things he's doing right now and the fact that the One Big Beautiful Bill is permanent this time, not with a ticking clock, and we get J.D. Vance in, we could see this boom, this economic boom, last for 15, 20 years. Finally, Trump tends to agree with me here. Let me play what Trump had to say.
Let me thank Vice President J.D. Vance, who's doing a fantastic job. Secretary of State Marco Rubio, likewise a fantastic job. I have good people. I like them better than my first group. But we had a great, despite that, we had a great first term. We had some great people there too, by the way. But we had a great first term. We had the greatest economy in the history of our country in the first term, but this is blowing it away. And you haven't seen anything yet. Let me
you hear that? This economy is already blowing away the first term economy, which is the last time we had a strong economy in the U.S. for a couple years. And he says, you ain't seen nothing yet. I truly believe it. With all that Trump's pulling off, I really believe we haven't seen anything yet. This first year, we are 1 week away, 10 days away from Trump having been in for a full first year. It's already been the greatest first year I've ever seen from a president. And I think it's about to ramp up. He's showing us that 2026 is not going to be a kick back and enjoy and see what we did in 2025. No, that pace that they started in 2025 when they first came in, they've now carried it into 2026. Get ready for a wild year. But if we keep trending in this direction, especially economically, guys, the midterms aren't going to be anything we need to worry about at all. Still, we're going to have to show up. Still, we're going to have to vote. Still, I'm going to be doing videos to educate people and get the word out. But the truth is, we are heading in a great, great direction. 2026 is going to be absolute fire for the 250th anniversary of our country, just as it should be. On that note, God bless you guys. Have a great day. Please take a second to like and subscribe to this channel, and I'll see you next time. Bye.